Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to yet another video on financial laws. Today, in this video, we'll cover two topics, FERA and FEMA, right? So let's understand what it is. I'll share my screen with you all now. So let's understand about FDI policy framework in India in this particular video, right? Now, there has been a sea change in India's approach to foreign investment from the early 1990s when it began structural economic reforms, like encompassing almost all the sectors of the economy. So, historically, India had followed an extremely cautious and selective approach while formulating FDI policy in view of the dominance of import substitution strategy of industrialization. So, with the objective of becoming self-reliant, there was a dual nature of policy intention. FDI through foreign collaboration was welcomed in the areas of high technology and high priorities to build national capability, and of course discouraged in low technology areas to protect and nurture domestic industries. So the regulatory framework was consolidated through the enactment of Foreign Exchange Regulation Act (FERA) 1973, where in foreign equity holding in a joint venture was allowed up to 40%. So subsequently, various exemptions were extended to foreign companies like engaged in export-oriented businesses and high technology and high priority areas, including allowing equity holding of over 40%. Moreover, drawing from success of other country experiences in Asia, government not only established specific economic zones, it says, but also designed liberal policy and provided incentives for promoting FDI in these zones with a view to promote exports. So as India constituted to be highly protective, these measures did not did not add substantially to the export competitiveness. Understood. So, recognizing these limitations, partial liberalization in the trade and investment policy, it was introduced in 1980s with the objective of enhancing export competitiveness, modernization, and marketing of exports through transnational corporations, TNCs, right? So, the announcement of industrial policy in 1980 and 82 and technology policy in 83, like, provided for a liberal attitude towards foreign investment in terms of change in policy direction. So, the policy was characterized by delicensing of some of the industrial rules and promotion of Indian manufacturing exports, like as well as emphasizing on modernization of industries through liberalized imports of capital goods and technology, right? So a major shift occurred when India embarked upon economic liberalization and reforms program in 1991, like aiming to raise its growth potential and integrating with the world economy. So industrial policy reforms gradually removed restrictions on investment projects and business expansion on the one hand, and allowed increased access to foreign technology and funding on the other, right? So these are a series of measures that were directed towards liberalizing foreign investment, right? Let's understand, right? So the first one is introduction of dual route of approval of FDI, RBI's automatic route and government's approval route. Next, automatic permission for technology agreements. I'm just reading out, okay? In high priority industries and the removal of restrictions of FDIs in low technology areas, as well as liberalization of technology imports. Next, permission to non-resident Indians, NRIs, and overseas corporate bodies, OCBs, to invest up to 100% in high priority sectors. Next, hike in the foreign equity participation limits to 51% for existing companies, and liberalization of the use of foreign brands, and signing the Convention of Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA, for protection of foreign investment. So these efforts were boosted by the enactment of FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act in 1999, that replaced FERA, which was less stringent, right? So this, along with the subsequential financial sector reforms, paved way for a greater capital account liberalization in India. Understood? So let's understand what is FERA, that is 1973 Act. So the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, FERA, was legislation passed in India in 1973 that imposed strict restrictions on certain kinds of payments and dealing in foreign exchange, forex, and securities, and for securities and the transaction, which had an indirect impact on the foreign exchange and the import and export of currency. I've just read what is written on the screen. So FERA was passed in 1973. The main purpose of which was to ensure the use of foreign exchange. FERA was creating obstacles, right, in the development of the country. So government replaced it by FEMA in 1999 because FERA had some drawbacks. Now, this FERA was passed in 73 that imposed strict regulations on certain kinds of payments and dealings in foreign exchange, forex, as we study. So the securities and the transactions which had an indirect impact on the foreign exchange and the import and export of currency, right? So the bill was formulated with the aim of regulating payments and foreign exchange. FEMA came into force from effect from 1st January 1974. FERA was introduced at a time when foreign exchange reserves of the country were low and forex being a scarce commodity. We all know that. So FERA therefore proceeded on the presumption that all foreign exchange earned by Indian residents rightfully belonged to the government of India, right, and had to be collected and surrendered by RBI, surrendered to the RBIs. So FERA primarily prohibited all transactions not permitted by RBI, in short. I'll give an example. For example, Coca-Cola was India's leading soft drink until 1977. When it left India after a new government ordered the company to dilute its stake in its Indian unit as required by the FERA. In 1993, the company, along with PepsiCo, returned after the introduction of India's liberalization policy. So the companies left when FERA entered because of its drawbacks, right? So let's understand the main features of FERA, few of the features of FERA. The very first one is, this act may be called the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973. It extends to the whole of India. It applies also to all citizens of India, outside India, and to branches and agencies outside India of companies or body corporates registered or incorporated in India, of course. Next is, it shall come into force on such state as the central government may by notification in the official gazette appoint in this behalf. Now, provided that different dates may be appointed for different provisions of this act, and any reference in any such provision to the commencement of this act shall be construed as a reference to the coming into force of this provision, right? Now, why did switch happen? Why did switch from FERA happen? Why did FERA came in? Why was it replaced by FERA? Understand that. Now, FERA did not succeed in restricting activities such as the expansion of multinationals. The concessions made to FERA in 1991-93 showed that FERA was on the verge of becoming redundant. So after the amendment of FERA in 1993, it was decided that the act would become FEMA. So this was done in order to relax the controls of foreign exchange in India. It was very important. And this led to an invention of beliefs among stakeholders that FERA and FEMA coexist in present Indian scenario. Now, FERA was repealed in 1998 by the government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and replaced by the Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA, which liberalized foreign exchange controls and restrictions on foreign investment, right? So the buying and selling of foreign currency and other debt instruments by business, individuals, and government happens in the foreign exchange market. We all know that. So apart from being very competitive, this market is also the largest and most liquid market in the world as well as in India. So it constantly undergoes changes and innovations, which can either beneficial to the country or expose them to a greater risk. Now, the management of foreign exchange market becomes necessary in order to mitigate and avoid the risk, right? So, central banks would work towards an orderly functioning of the transactions, which can also develop their foreign exchange market. So, foreign exchange market, whether under FERA or FEMA control, whatever, the need for the management of foreign exchange is very, very important. It is necessary to keep adequate amount of foreign exchange, right? So FEMA here serve to make transactions for external trade easier, right? So transactions involving current account for external trade no longer required RBI's permission as it was required in FERA. So the deals in foreign exchange were to be managed instead of regulated. You know, understand? It was need to be managed, not regulated. So that happened in FEMA. So the switch to FEMA shows the change on the part of the government in terms for the capital, right? Now, what are the objectives and scope of FEMA? The objective is to consolidate and amend the law relating to foreign exchange with view to facilitate external trade and payments for promoting development and maintenance of foreign exchange market in India, right? What is the main difference between FERA and FEMA? Now, FERA was an act promulgated to regulate payments and foreign exchange in India. On the contrary, FEMA is an act to promote orderly management of foreign exchange in India. This was the main difference between FEMA and FERA. Now, the guidelines. What are the FEMA guidelines? The Foreign Exchange Management Act, or in short, FEMA, is an act that provides guidelines for the free flow of foreign exchange in India. It has brought a new management regime of foreign exchange consistent with the emerging framework of the World Trade Organization. Now, to maybe in short, the features of FEMA, like what are the features? Like it gives the powers to the central government to regulate the flow of payments to and from a person situated outside the country. So all financial transactions concerning foreign securities or exchange cannot be carried out without the approval of FEMA. This is important to understand. And activities such as payments made to any person outside India or receipt from them, along with the deals in foreign exchange and foreign security, is restricted. It is FEMA that gives the central government the power to impose the restrictions. The next feature is free transactions on current accounts subject to reasonable restrictions that may be imposed and without general or specific permission of FEMA. Lastly, FEMA restricts the transaction involving foreign exchange or foreign security and payments from outside the country to India. The transaction should be made only through an authorized person. So these are the main features of FEMA. That's all about today's video. We have understood in detail about FERA and FEMA, very important topics of this particular unit. Okay, and from the exam point of view. So let's complete the remaining part of this unit in the next video. Till then, I want you all to study, prepare notes, because I'm forwarding you videos. It will make sense only when you study. Just watching videos won't help you. You'll have to make your own notes. In videos, it will be understanding. Just you will understand the concept, but you'll not you'll not get it like unless until you study on your own. You buy books from the market and please study. Okay, so see you in the next video, and then take care.